How's it going, everyone? Happy Monday, and we are starting off the week in a big way with a big info drop of Horizon Forbidden West. There is a new developer blog with a ton of new information. Now, it would take way too long for me to cover everything, so I'll leave a link in the description box below where you can read it for yourself, but I do want to highlight some specific things developers did note about the game. This is a game that I'm incredibly excited about. I actually pre-ordered the highest edition of the game. I don't know if I'm going to keep it because it has a digital copy of the game, and I don't know where we're going with this idea of high-end editions having steelbook cases, I believe, but having a digital copy of the game. That's a tangent for another day. Not a big fan of that. I would have definitely kept the pre-order had that not been the case, but we'll see how things turn out when we get closer to the release in February. But first of all, let's talk about Horizon, and boy oh boy did we get a ton of info through the PlayStation blog coming from Bodhi Vriza, a community lead over at Guerrilla Games, so let's talk about it. It notes, our traversal design decisions were always in service of increasing dynamic interactivity with the world around you. This could be to empower the player to manipulate and destroy their environment with a tool like the Polecaster, or grapple launching into a glide with a shield wing to set yourself up for a strike above. What excites us the most is how our mechanics, new and old, synergistically interact with each other to provide varied and dynamic approaches to any scenario. It seems like they are going for a more varied way of tackling different situations. I mean, I thought Horizon Zero Dawn was already relatively varied in how you could tackle every specific scenario, but it looks like they're going even more in-depth with Horizon Forbidden West, given that you do have some new mechanics being introduced. While fundamentally the game is very similar, there are specifics that are being introduced that do look like it's going to cause quite the alteration to gameplay mechanics as well, and I'm pretty excited about it. So far, the footage we've seen, I think the gameplay looks even better than Horizon, and I know a lot of people that had issues with Horizon Zero Dawn's mechanics and didn't find the gameplay all too engaging. Hopefully they find Forbidden West gameplay a little bit more enjoyable. It continued noting, this wide array of new options also pose challenges to how we think about level design. We need to allow for players to outsmart us using new moves or tools to bypass some of our challenges in clever and unpredictable ways. Traversal puzzles won't always have a binary solution. We encourage players to experiment and have fun with the new tools. We will offer a variety of challenges regardless of playstyle or skill or previous experience in Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't think difficulty is something that people really have to be worried about, just because if you guys remember the difficulty settings that Horizon Zero Dawn has, it has a wide variety of them. Like, if you really want the game to be relatively easy, you can go on the story mode, and there's like literally no way you'll even die playing it on the story mode. Like, that game is so easy on story mode that they made it that way, obviously, for those of you that just want to go through the story. And that's even one level past, I believe, the easy difficulty, and the easy difficulty is pretty easy as well. I think most people are going to go the normal or hard route, but nonetheless, they offer you those levels of difficulty, so it really can be engaging to any player, because I think a lot of people, especially even more casual consumers, they can get into Horizon as more of a story-driven experience and have a really good time with it, because I think the story in Horizon is pretty darn great. Also noted, and of course the new features of the PlayStation 5 hardware presented another exciting challenge. Forbidden West is developed and published for both PS4 and PS5 from the ground up. There are some highlights for those who will play on the latter console. I hope that is the case. Obviously, in my opinion, it's still going to be a little limiting, and it's not going to be what we, you know, could see out of the PS5 if it was, or out of the game if it was a PS5 exclusive full-on. But hey, them's the breaks, I guess. Obviously, DualSense is going to be a big element of the game. It was noted that DualSense wireless controller is heavily featured throughout our mechanics, from the scrape of rubble as you push a crate to the sensation of an unraveling winch as you use the Polecaster with the increased adaptive trigger tension as you pull. We've also added extra tactile dimensions to increase both the gameplay value and the feeling of being part of the world Aloy is moving around in. These can be subtle as the sensation of grass brushing around you to indicate you are entering stealth grass, or the pop of the adaptive trigger as you reach maximum draw with a bow. We even use the absence of adaptive tension to help communicate when you're out of ammo. I've noticed this with the DualSense controller, and generally when we have been seeing these PS5 exclusive features, they are really going for attention to detail and really trying to bring you into the world of the game. And yeah, the controller obviously is a big element of that, but it's interesting to see how big of an element the controller really is. I don't think pre-DualSense and pre these features being introduced, I would have put that much emphasis on mechanics of a controller. But obviously, these developers know how to make a more engaging experience than a Joe Schmo like me, and obviously they're getting that job done with Horizon and a couple of other games that have utilized specific features of the DualSense controller. A small and subtle thing, but in my opinion, it does make a lot of games a little bit more engaging. Also, talked a little bit about climbing. Quote, the free climbing system in Horizon Forbidden West is a huge feature we are extremely excited about, as it allowed us to make large sections of the terrain climbable where it makes sense visually and narratively. In a way not previously possible in Horizon Zero Dawn, rocky surfaces in these areas are freely climbable without the use of tribal handholds. On top of that, you have high vault traversal mechanic, which essentially allows Aloy to hoist herself on top of any object of jumpable height with room to pull up. Combined with the ability to free climb and adding grapples to our environment, the potential for exploration is greatly increased. Yeah, like, it seems like there's gonna be a lot more options for traversal, which is pretty good with grappling, and now we're talking about this free climbing system that they're introducing as well. That's also gonna make specific battles, I think, a little bit more interesting, because you are going to offer the player a lot more variety in how they tackle situations, and utilizing these different mechanics in their favor definitely, one would think, would add a lot of depth to the gameplay as well. And not only is traversal going to make gameplay a bit different from a combat standpoint, but combat design has been altered as well. It was noted, as with traversal, it was similarly important to evolve combat design further from Horizon Zero Dawn and build on the principle of player freedom and choice in an open world with new combat mechanics, enemy types, and weapon variation, to name a few aspects. Players can easily assess a dangerous situation and choose how to enter a combat scenario, then actively swap between combat tactics. The lead combat designer, Dennis Zaffi, spoke a little bit about this, noting one entirely new concept in Horizon Forbidden West is the workbench, where you can upgrade and strengthen weapons and outfits. This unlocks new perks, mod slots, skills, and offers a bigger degree of customization, resistance, and new abilities for players. And of course, you'll have a skill tree to upgrade Aloy's abilities on top of that. In Zero Dawn, skills were bought and unlocked as you leveled up. While that principle remains in the sequel, we completely redesigned the skill tree with the additional tracks and skills within the skill tree. Skills also synergize with those that are either already present on outfits or need to be unlocked on them. I haven't gone over everything, but I do want to highlight one more thing, and that is the section that they go over a bunch of new weapons and tools. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this blog, and again, link in the description box below, because I'm just scratching the surface on it. Dennis spoke a little bit about it, noting, we wanted to bring melee and range combat closer together. Aloy is not a character who deals with brute force, so we were looking for ways to have the player go back and forth between melee and range, where she could use her precise bow skills to work towards a big payoff moment. A new example of a skill that does this is the Resonator Blast, where you charge up the spear with melee hits, and when fully powered up, the energy can be placed on enemies, humans and machines alike, and then followed up with a projectile, resulting in a big damaging explosion. Then there is a Valor Surge feature. There are 12 in total, with each of them representing and strengthening a specific approach to the game. You unlock and upgrade them through the skill tree. With skill points, there are 3 levels of each Valor Surge. The higher the level, the longer the charge up, and the more powerful the attack. Also spoke upon was the idea of humanoid and machinery encounters. Now it's going to be more so. You're going to have to fight them as a group as well, and now there's going to be more enemy factions, more machines. You guys get the idea. Again, this is only scratching the surface of the PlayStation blog post. There's a ton of information there if you guys are interested. Link in the description box below. I've talked about it, but I am super excited for this game. I was hoping it was going to be out this year, as it was one of, if not my most anticipated game coming into 2021, that and Ratchet & Clank, but I'm still excited for early 2022. I really hope it delivers. I love the story in Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, that story I thought was incredibly compelling, and there was so much depth to it with all the little nuggets of information that you could find if you did take your time and look for everything. And the ending was obviously setting the table for a lot more to come. If you haven't played Horizon Zero Dawn, should let you guys know the game finally got upgraded to 60 FPS. My moaning and complaining finally came in clutch. I'm sure they were planning on doing it anyway. I'm not gonna give myself the credit, but my complaining was finally answered, as Horizon Zero Dawn did get a 60 FPS patch on PS5. So definitely go check it out on PS5 if you haven't played it and you have a PS5. It's a great game. You can get the complete edition for like 10 bucks. It's really worth it. If you have a PC that can run it, it's on there as well. Runs really well. It had some issues at launch, but it's a lot better now. But Forbidden West, of course, dropping in February. Do I have the date right here? I believe it's February 22nd. Excuse me, it is February 18th of 2022, so not too far away. A little bit less than 4 months until the release of the game, and I think this is going to be one that is going to be something a lot of people are going to be looking forward to. Hopefully it runs well on the PlayStation 4 because I've seen footage of the game and it looks pretty darn good on PlayStation 5, and I'm sure the footage that we were seeing either was running on a PlayStation 5 or a PC that was of high-end hardware. So hopefully the PlayStation 4 version can keep up to speed, especially the base PS4. I think that's where the issues may really lie. I mean, a PS4 Pro probably can get through, but a base PS4 running this game, I think it is going to be a little bit dicey. But we'll see how it turns out February 18th of 2022. That's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Let me know your anticipation level for Horizon Forbidden West. Curious to see if you guys are super excited for it, if this is like falling well behind of God of War, because I do see this as being the 1-2 punch for Sony in 2022, Horizon and God of War. So let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.